Right, lads, gather round and listen up. This is the story of Toyota, the car company that makes, well, cars that are about as exciting as a documentary on lawnmower maintenance. But hold on, before you click away, their story is actually quite a ride. It starts, oddly enough, not with cars, but with looms. Yes, those things that weave cloth. See, back in the late 1800s, Japan was playing catch-up with the big boys of the Industrial Revolution. Enter Sakichi Toyoda, a bloke with a knack for tinkering. He looked at the textile industry, saw those clunky old looms and thought, we can do better. And by heck, he did. Sakichi invented the automatic loom. This thing was a game changer. Faster, more efficient, and less wasteful. It made him a bit of a legend, a bit like the Henry Ford of fabrics, if you will. This philosophy, this DNA of innovation, would become the driving force behind Toyota, the car company. Now, Sakichi had a son, Kiichiro. Think of him as the Steve Jobs to his dad Steve Wozniak. Kiichiro was all about cars. He saw the potential, the freedom, the sheer bloody-mindedness of it all. But there was a problem. Japan in the 1930s wasn't exactly known for its automotive prowess. Luckily, old dad was rolling in it thanks to his loom empire. So Kiichiro convinced him to cough up some cash. Trust me, Dad, he probably said, we'll make more than just frocks with this. And off he went, on a jolly good fact-finding mission to America and Europe to see how the big boys did it. In 1937, with a bit of borrowed tech and a lot of Japanese determination, Toyota Motor Corporation was born. Their first car, the Model AA, was, well, it was a car. Little did they know, they were about to face a few speed bumps in the form of a global depression and a rather nasty war.
The 1930s, as you might imagine, were a bit of a downer for the global economy. And then, just as things were starting to look up, World War II kicked off. Not exactly the best time to be a fledgling car company. Toyota found itself churning out trucks for the Japanese war effort, which, let's be honest, weren't exactly known for their reliability. But hey, you do what you gotta do. During the war, their factories got bombed to bits, which put a bit of a damper on production. But the real blow came after the war. Japan was in ruins, resources were scarce, and frankly, people weren't exactly queuing up to buy cars. They were more interested in things like, food and shelter. It would have been easy for Toyota to chuck in the towel, call it a day, and go back to making looms, but they didn't. Post-war Japan was a tough place to be, even tougher if you were trying to flog cars nobody could afford. But Toyota, bless their cotton socks, are a stubborn lot. They rolled up their sleeves, dusted off the rubble, and got to work. They knew they couldn't compete with the Americans on size or horsepower, so they focused on what they could control: quality, efficiency, and affordability. They squeezed every last drop of value out of every yen, every scrap of steel, and slowly, they started to rebuild. They took inspiration from everywhere, even from the Americans. They combined these techniques with their own Jidoka philosophy, their obsession with continuous improvement, and voila! The Toyota Production System, or TPS, was born. Section 5. The Toyota Way: Efficiency and Quality Redefined. Now, I know what you're thinking. Production systems? This is more boring than watching paint dry. But bear with me, because TPS is the secret sauce, the magic dust, the reason Toyota went from making knockoff trucks to, well, Toyota.
TPS is all about eliminating waste. Not just wasted materials, but wasted time, wasted movement, wasted everything. It's about empowering workers to identify problems and come up with solutions. It's about constantly striving for perfection, even if perfection is unattainable.
Sounds a bit like my approach to driving, actually. The result? Cars that were put together with the precision of a Swiss watch. Cars that were so reliable they made metronomes look unreliable. Cars that were affordable, fuel efficient, and just, well, worked. And with TPS as their secret weapon, Toyota set their sights on a new target: America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Section 6. Conquering the West. A beachhead in America. America in the 1960s was all about chrome, fins, and V8 engines. So when Toyota rocked up with their little Corolla model, people laughed. It was like bringing a knife to a gunfight.
But here's the thing about knives. They're reliable, they're efficient, and sometimes they're all you need. The Corolla wasn't flashy, but it was cheap. It sipped fuel like a camel in the desert, and it just kept going. And slowly, Americans started to come around.
Then came the oil crisis of the 1970s. Suddenly, those gas-guzzling American behemoths weren't looking so clever. People wanted cars that wouldn't bankrupt them at the pump, cars that were, dare I say it, sensible. And Toyota, with their reputation for reliability and fuel efficiency, were perfectly positioned to fill the gap. Section 7, Corolla and Camry, the mainstream marvels. Now Toyota could have rested on their laurels, churned out Corollas till the cows came home, and called it a day. But that's not how they roll. They kept innovating, kept pushing the boundaries of what a car could be. They introduced the Camry, a car so beige it made beige look exciting. But it was also comfortable, reliable, and spacious. It was the automotive equivalent of a pair of slippers. Not very exciting, but oh so comfortable. And you know what? People loved it. The Corolla and Camry became the best-selling cars in the world, icons of practicality and dependability. They were the backbone of the Toyota empire, the cash cows that allowed them to take risks, to experiment, to push the boundaries of what was possible. Section 8, a hybrid revolution, Prius, and the Green Initiative. By the late 1990s, the world was waking up to the fact that burning fossil fuels like there was no tomorrow was, well, not a sustainable strategy. Electric cars were still a pipe dream, but Toyota had another idea brewing, the hybrid.
Enter the Prius, a car so dull-looking it made the Camry look like a Ferrari. But under the hood, something revolutionary was happening. The Prius combined a petrol engine with an electric motor, resulting in a car that sipped fuel like a hummingbird and emitted less CO2 than a hamster.
The Prius was a gamble. Hybrid technology was new, untested, and frankly a bit weird. But Toyota believed in it, and they put their money where their mouth was. The Prius became a global phenomenon, the poster child for eco-friendly motoring. Toyota invested heavily in hybrid technology, rolled it out across their entire range, and encouraged other manufacturers to follow suit. Section 9, Luxury and Performance, Lexus and Beyond. Now, Toyota might be known for their sensible shoes, but that doesn't mean they can't do a bit of high-heeled glamour when they want to. In the late 1980s, they launched Lexus, their luxury brand. The idea was simple. Take on the Germans at their own game. Lexus cars were whisper quiet, buttery smooth, and packed with more gadgets than a Bond car. They were so well built, so reliable, that they actually started to out-German the Germans. But Toyota didn't stop there. They created Gazoo Racing, their performance division, churning out hot hatches and sports cars that could give a Porsche a run for its money. They even went back to their roots, developing hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, because why the bloody hell not? Toyota, you see, are like that kid in school who was good at everything. Section 10, the future of mobility, sustainability, and innovation. Today, Toyota stands as a giant in the automotive industry, but they're not resting on their laurels. They're investing billions in research and development, exploring new technologies like artificial intelligence, autonomous driving, and even flying cars.
They're committed to reducing their environmental impact, developing electric vehicles, hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, and even biofuel-powered cars. They're working on mobility solutions for everyone, from self-driving taxis to personal mobility devices.
Toyota is embracing the future, a future where cars are more than just metal boxes on wheels. They're tools for freedom, for connection, for exploration. And Toyota is determined to be at the forefront of this revolution, just as they were at the forefront of the automotive industry a century ago. Section 11, a legacy of excellence, Toyota's enduring impact. So there you have it, the story of Toyota. From humble beginnings in the textile industry to global automotive domination. It's a story of innovation, of resilience, of a relentless pursuit of excellence. Toyota's impact on the world goes far beyond just building cars. They've revolutionized manufacturing, pioneered new technologies, and set the standard for quality and reliability in countless industries. They've created millions of jobs, boosted economies, and helped connect people and cultures across the globe. Toyota's journey is far from over. In fact, it's just beginning. And if their past is anything to go by, the future of mobility is going to be very interesting indeed.